The 2014 historic Formula 4 Championship videos are supported by Res Express, specialists in wood finishing products.
Welcome to Donington Park for the first round of the HSCC historic Formula 4 1600 Championship. Just one race this weekend, 20 minutes of action. Qualifying took place this morning on a damp circuit. It's a 15-minute session. The cars then heading around on their green flag formation lap, and it was Ben Sims that set the quickest lap in qualification this morning by a whole second to novice driver Michael O'Brien. Ben Sims returns this weekend in his Jomo JMR7. Michael O'Brien in the Merlin Mark 20. Second row, that's Josh Wester, number 79 car. Also in the Merlin, alongside him, Maxim Bartel in the Merlin. The grid you can see on your screen on the third row, you've got James Buxton and Stuart Baird on row 4, Chris Sharples, and then the 75 car of Daniel Pickett. Right on board then with Bartel in that Mark 20A Merlin. The red lights go on now, then you've got Sims down the inside, alongside him it's the novice driver Michael O'Brien's a great start from Ben Sims for pole position. Look at that though, Stuart Baird coming through, and Bartel having to dart off left there. But Baird sixth from the grid there, was going for second, but instead it's Bartel that goes round the outside, so our onboard camera car goes second place, but it's Ben Sims running with this bit of a gap as they go on to Hollywood and down the Craner curve for the first time now at Donington Park, and it's a battle for third now. That's starting to go on, is it Buckton? James Buckton has got up to third place. A good start from him. He's starting fifth. Then it's Baird, the quick starter there in fourth position. Josh West in fifth, and it's Michael O'Brien down to sixth position there from the front row. But he's fighting Josh West as they go around the outside there, as they go up towards Swan's curve. And then the rest of the field flow through. It's a good grid of Formula 4s this weekend. 29 cars made to start. As they now head up towards McLean's and then down and up the hill towards Coppice Corner, and a battle of third really. Strong with Buckton there in the Eldon, leading them from Baird in the Merlin, and West also in another Merlin, and then the third of those Merlins, that Cure cars, is Michael O'Brien. On board then, we can go with our second onboard camera, Andrew Mansell. He qualified well down the field, I think 24th place was where he started, but he's already starting to make the move up the pack. He's just sitting there behind Roy Schwarzenberg in the Macon MR8, and he's making his way through then. They complete the first lap here of the Donington Park National Circuit we're using this weekend. And it is Ben Sims that leads by 1.1 seconds after that first lap. Going with him though is Maxim Bartel. A big gap to Baird, who's gone third. James Buckton started to fall down because up on the inside there through Hollywood, Josh West makes his move there. Now what can Michael O'Brien do? Because Buckton goes defensive into the old hairpin, slides out wide, a bit too wide perhaps. So now here comes O'Brien trying to go around the outside there as we head up towards Swan's curve, but Buckton stays in front. The Eldon staying ahead of the Merlin then as they now up towards McLean's. Behind the pair of them was Chris Sharples in 7th place, then 8th was Brian Morris as they head up towards Coppice for the second time then. There's Josh West right underneath Stuart Baird as they turned in towards Coppice Corner there. Back on board with Mansell we can go as he continues to try and get ahead of the Macon. Can't do anything as they turn their way now through Coppice Corner. This is right in the slipstream. Go down the exhibition straight. This is going to be Mansell's best chance. We go down towards the S's then, and he's drawing up alongside, and he should go ahead then. And he does so as we turn there into the right and the left of the S's to complete now another lap. That second lap completed. A Ben Sims lead now up to 1.5 seconds to Bartel. The pair of them are 4 seconds clear of now. It's Josh West up to third, and dropping down is Stuart Baird because Michael O'Brien's got ahead of him as well. And James Buckton there in 6th place. So the quartet of cars turn their way into the old hairpin. And then there's a gap back now to the 7th place car of Stuart Dix. Now what have we've lost? Fallen Sharples has dropped down to 8th, and well down the pack, almost right to the back of the field, has gone Brian Morris in the Lola. So we'll have to watch to see if something's gone on down around the back of the circuit, out of our view. Perhaps we should expect Brian Morris to start to come back through the field, as long as he's got no damage of course. that car. You saw there, Philip Walker in the Crosby 16F. Replay of the start on board of Andrew Mansell. It's a huge grid of cars. And there's a good start from Mansell. Driving around the outside of the field, heading down towards Redgate corner. They look quite busy in the mid-pack. Everybody though cleanly made it way through the first lap. Everybody's still running, all 29 starters. Still going strong. So back on board with Mansell then. The action, through the action we go once again. Another car now. Head down towards Redgate. 25 is Philip Walker. And he moves his way ahead of him, using the slipstream down the front straight into Redgate corner then. And the battle on here, because Michael O'Brien's got ahead of Josh West. They turn now into the old hairpin. This is third and fourth. So O'Brien going through. This is the battle of the two Merlins. Both Mark 20s. They go up toward through Swartz Curve and into McLean's James Buckton ahead of Bear now, background, back on board with our second place car, Maxine Bartel. The line last time, the gap had actually gone up to 2.7 seconds because the fastest lap was set last time by Ben Sims to run 18.7. So a good lap there from Sims as he's pulled away. They crossed the line the fourth time. The gap continues to go up at 3.2 seconds. Another 18.7 from Sims. He can go back on board of Andrew Mansell then. He tries to pick off another position. The Merlin Mark 20 with Daniel Pickett in front of us, and he's no longer in front because Mansell goes up on the inside, runs a bit wide there on the first part of the S's, but gets it all corrected for the second part. There is your race leader then, the Jomo of Ben Sims. There's second place, Maxine Bartel in the Merlin Mark 20, and here's the battle for third. It's still O'Brien ahead of West, James Buckton not far behind, and then the sixth place car is number 6, Stuart Baird in the Merlin Mark 20. So they turn through the old hairpin, and O'Brien started to pull away now from West, and Buckton in the Eldon there as well. And got a good gap now back to 7th place. That's Chris Sharples, I think. Yes, back into 7th ahead of Stuart Dix in the 18 car, and then it's Kevin Stantz, the number 20 car, that runs in 9th position. The rest of the field turn their way through the old hairpin. Good battles throughout the field, you can see. It is still Sims that leads the way then. Fifth lap out of the race. And 5 seconds is what Bartel has got over O'Brien. And we can ride on board another replay. Stuart Baird, so absolutely fantastic. They've got boxed in behind the slow starting Michael O'Brien, and that actually allowed Bartel, even though he dart left, to actually take that second place. And build up that gap back to third place, which is now of course Michael O'Brien after he came back through. And there is O'Brien, who's starting to pull away now from Josh West, who sits in there in 4th position ahead of James Buckton, and the pair of them are really starting to pull away now from Stuart Baird, who sits in 6th position. And here's Merlin, so Buckton in the Eldon. 4 of the top 6 cars, all Merlins except for Sims' Jomo and Buckton's Eldon. Look at the crane occurs, iconic part of Donington Park. Battle. Have a look at now. We're heading onto the craners. Of course, a bit further back in the field. Lots of battles. Look, there is the 17 car of Brian Morris swooping past 2 cars and heading up towards McLean's now. Of course, it was Morris that lost out earlier, so he's starting to come back through the field in the Lola T202. One of the cars they got past was Philip Walker. Just leading out there, heading up into Coppice, as Daniel Pickett. Look back at the race leader there, Ben Sims, as he slides his way through Old Hairpin. Sims, certainly the class of the field here at Donington Park today. And Josh West trying to get back onto terms with Michael O'Brien, who's just got that little gap to him now. If we look back here now at Dick Dixon and Ian Pearson, it's The two Lotus 61s in the race. Great battle between the two very identical cars. They head up towards McLean's end. Dixon stays ahead of Pearson then. John Crowell in the Eldon there. Go back to the battle for third then, and Josh West started to close back in on O'Brien. Good battle this is. The two youngsters, third and fourth. Josh West, the novice a couple of years ago in the championship. O'Brien, of course, novice this season. Andrew Mansell. And just behind him is the recovering Brian Morris in the Lola. Looks up on the inside there. Not get anything done. And we go on board with Mansell. You can see the two Lolas, they're closing that one. Of course, Andrew Mansell recovering from bad grid position. Brian Morris recovering from the mistake earlier on. We head up towards Coppice Corner then. And the inside line, diving up on the inside. The 17 car of Brian Morris, and he makes it through then. We're about half distance now in this one. Lap 8, we're on, heading now down towards the Essex. Max is setting the slipstream. We expect now, of course, the pace that Brian Morris has got. Yes, he's getting onto the back. And going through now ahead of Ian Pearson. Round the outside, and now Mansell looks up on the inside into Redgate, can't do anything about it. Pearson though, coming back on Morris, he lopes in very late. He goes back in front of Morris, but then runs out wide, and Brian Morris comes back through as they head on to Hollywood, and this is allowing Dick Dixon just to make a bit of a gap, as now they go on to the Crane of Curves then for another lap of this one. And yeah, you see Dixon had pulled out that margin. Brian Morris now though, a bit quicker than the cars around him. So, probably won't take too long. Yeah, he's right on the back of the tail of Dick Dixon now. As they head up in towards Swartz Curve, he's got the inside for that corner, which gives the outside for McLean. But I think he's already through. And Andrew Mansell as well, trying to fight to get ahead of Ian Pearson. But Pearson on the inside line as they head through. McLean stays in front. Drift a bit wide, but stays in front of Andrew Mansell now as they head up towards Coppice. And no way through. But of course, in the front, it's Brian Morris who's got ahead of Dick Dixon. They head back onto the back straight, heading back towards the end of the lap, and now Mansell fighting back up on the inside of Ian Pearson, heading down towards the chicane, which completes the Donington Park National Circuit, and Mansell goes back through then as they turn their way through the S's. Battles throughout the field here. Kick out. That, the 81 car, the red Lola T200 with James Lovett, and Josh West for the inside of one of the back markers there. That was John Slack in the Lola T200. No problems with that car this weekend. Alistair Littlewood at the back of this battle in his Merlin Mark 20A. Ben Sims in traffic now, so Lappery underway now at Donington Park. A good scrap, but Sims is having to work his way through. Battle continues between Dixon and Mansell. So they head out of Coppice. Look at the speed Mansell carries out of that corner. So he goes up on the inside line then as we head down towards the SS, a little way from Mansell as he goes past ahead of the Lotus 61 of Dick Dixon. So through goes Mansell as he misses the apex there of the first part of the S's. Gathers it all up. I don't think he'll lose position again. So heading through the old hairpin and off there. That's Alistair Littlewood in the Merlin Mark 28. It spins into the gravel there. It's like our broke away as he turned into the old hairpin, and he's going to be buried in that, isn't he? Look at that, the rear wheels for spinning there. That's, I think, the third retirement was Daniel Pickett and Sam Binfield also retired. So 26 cars still circulating the circuit, and now it's Maxim Bartel who's in the Lappery. The first car there is the novice car, Daniel Stans. The Eldon Mark 8 goes through, 76 there as well. That's Gary McBee in the another Merlin, the Mark 11A behind the wheel of. Let's see how much later the leaders are on the brakes into Redgate there as Bartel slides the car through the first corner. So how much later on the brakes front runners are compared to the back markers. And a bit of frustration there as Bartel gets held up slightly behind John Crowell's Eldon. So through the old hairpin now under yellows, of course, because of Littlewood's Merlin in the gravel. He recovered though, the next lap or so. Michael O'Brien now coming to lap the Eldon of Crowell. Now can Michael O'Brien get on to terms with Bartel? Across the line, the gap had come down to about 2 seconds, so O'Brien on a charge then. Side by side here. Go Dick Dixon round the outside of Andrew Mansell. But they're lapping, that's the Lola in trouble, isn't it? John Slack's Lola. Let's take a replay of that then. Dixon swooping around the outside. So back in front then goes Dick Dixon ahead of Andrew Mansell, as they now head down towards the S's once more. And back on the inside there goes Mansell. He's not going to waste much time, is he, to get back in front, as he does so there. So in the battle for 13th and 14th positions. So Andrew Mansell back through. Stuart Baird in the traffic now. And Stuart Baird being closed in by Chris Sharples in the Palliser. Just a second or so between the two of them. That was a much larger gap earlier in the race. Nicholas Bull, their leading this Gagolo car, 17th, 18th, 19th, Wrigley and Schwerdrin in that battle as well. There's Josh West. He's got to deal with the traffic as well. First of those cars being Daniel Stantz. Goes up on the inside of him, does he? Bit tentative there. Stantz waves him by. And this continuing battle between Andrew Mansell and Dick Dixon for 13th position, heading down towards the old hairpin then. It's the Merlin Mark 11A and the Lotus 61. There's Dick Dixon, number 27. 8, Andrew Mansell. And the battle for second is on now. Maxim Bartel has got Michael O'Brien right behind him. So Bartel and O'Brien just separated now by a couple of car lengths. The two Merlin Mark 20 you can fall right on board then with Max Bartel. There's a bit of traffic up the road as well. Add to this, the gap about 4 seconds up the road is expensive. Sims hasn't pulled away too much more than what he did in the first 5 laps or so. There, past the back marker. That was Nicholas Bull. Bartel staying clear still of O'Brien. This battle is going to go to the line. I think they're about to start the final lap of the race now. There's 17, Brian Morris. Seeing how many positions he can pass. I think it was Arnold he was just trying to get past there. Andrew Mansell just put a little bit of a gap out to Dick Dixon now. And here is the battle we've been waiting for. It's second and third. Bartel and O'Brien then headed down towards the old hairpin for the final time. Nothing separating the two Mark 20s. Up towards Swartz Curve they go then. McLean's. And Bartel just left a gap there, which allowed Michael O'Brien to go through. So the novice driver up to second position is O'Brien, as they head through Coppice and then down Bartel uses all the road there on the inside of the corner. Then they head now down towards the chicane, which completes the lap here. Bartel in the slipstream as they head down there. But O'Brien goes defensive, so that means Bartel round the outside. But of course, using the slipstream means it's got more speed later on the brakes as well. Around the outside, is Bartel going to take it? Yes, he's back into second position. But it's Ben Sims who's going to win the first round of the HSCC Historic Formula Ford 1600 Championship in 2014. Bartel takes second and O'Brien in third. Good battle there just to finish the race off. But it's Ben Sims who is the first winner this season. It's 2 weeks to the next round of Thruxton. I'm sure Ben Sims is very pleased with that. There are the results on your screen. It was Ben Sims at 1 for Maxime Bartel. In third was Michael O'Brien. James Buckton come up to 4th to beat Josh West. And then in 6th was Stuart Baird. Chris Sharples in 7th. 8th, Stuart Dix. 9th was Kevin Stans, and Michael Wales completed the top 10. Brian Morris managed to recover to 11th after he saw furlough in the race. Andrew Mansell beat Dick Dixon in a battle for 13th. They finished just behind Roger Arnold. We'll finish you off here with some pictures of the after race events. Join us in 2 weeks' time when we have a double header around one of the fastest circuits in the UK. It's Thruxton. Join us then.
The 2014 Historic Formula Ford Championship videos are supported by Ret Express, specialists in wood finishing products.